I mean, the
What
mic
it
is
do?
good.
What it do, folks? How you living? Where is Montel Allen at? I mean, he said he was there. He was there a few minutes ago, and now look at him. This brother is
I'm right
coming.
here, fella.
My God, what you running to the bathroom? Shouts out Team No Sleep. How you living, brother?
Man, blessed, man. As usual, 10 toes down, ready to start the day.
Okay.
Getting this week off to a good start, man. Just taking it day by day, man. Avoiding these gas prices.
Avoiding these gas prices. I don't know how that is because, I'm all EV. So your boy, I just charge at night at the house. I don't know what y'all got to deal with, but we're not going to talk about that. That's not the social impact we're going to get into tonight. We do have some other things. Let me give some shouts out to Senior in the building. Oh my God, let me get the comments right. Let me get them lined up here. There we go. Good to see you, sir. Y'all know we're gonna get into it, right? But I wonder if folks just knew when something like that went off this weekend. They said, "Oh Lord, what is Montel and James gonna talk about? Are they when is it gonna be on the show?" Because social impact of, and then I was thinking, right, it doesn't necessarily involve sports, but then you came at, so shouts out to you for coming back with the whole, King Richard Williams thing, him being the father of the Williams sisters, and hearing his commentary, his feedback, and his insight on the whole situation. So, and again, immediately after the incident, Will goes up there and wins the award for the Williams movie. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. But before we get started, got somebody behind the scenes, gonna bring him on right quick because he is a good friend of the show, good friend of mine as well. Y'all know him if you know me, and he's going to be joining us for Team No Sleep tonight. Shouts out, ladies and gentlemen. Erik Burks is in the building. Come on now.
How you doing?
All right. Look at you looking all crispy there. You got your nice backgrounds. You got your nano lights going, and
yeah. Oh, look at I'm opposite.
That's right. EB, I tell you what, man, give the folks a little something. Tell them who you are for folks who may not know you, man. I think that's only worthy to have you tell your own origin story. Who is Erik Burks?
Well, if we take it way back,
we don't have that kind of time. We don't have that kind of time.
No, we started a show called Unscripted. Thank you. And we've been trying to, just again get relevant content and stay, and be entertaining. We just got back from the Oscars area. We did a red carpet there Sunday night, I believe it was, and that's when this whole
He's on mute. I can't hear him.
EB, what happened, brother? You went on mute. What's going on? Guests has muted themselves.
That is crazy. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now behind the screen. Don't do that, brother. Don't press any buttons.
I didn't touch nothing.
Let me press. I'm the one pressing the buttons. I'm the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. I'm gonna let you continue. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, no. Hey, the system. Okay. Anyway. Having some technical difficulties. Anyway, we got back the red carpet last night. We was there doing the comedy show, and got to see some comedians, some celebrity comedians, and then in our show, what happened was they actually were talking about what happened at the actual Oscars. So, hello. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me? Am I technical?
Yeah, we got you. You good.
But you're going to have to understand live video production. Don't get nervous. See, Montel, check it. We were at an after party for the Oscars this week, and I threw Erik kind of right in the middle of the fire and said, "I'm gonna need you to go interview Jimmy Shin right now, please." And he was a little flustered, didn't know the venue, didn't know the name of the individual he was interviewing, but all in all, he did a decent job. I gave him a B minus. Give him a B minus. He didn't get an A plus because he wasn't completely prepared, but he still did a good job. So shouts out to you for that. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Everyone, I see you in the comments. Thank you for joining. We're gonna have a great conversation. So let's start with that. right? The slap heard around the world, the slap scene around the world. They actually stopped the after party to talk a little bit about that. The MC at the event said, yes, Will Smith just went on stage and slapped Chris Rock in the mouth over a joke made about Jada, about her alopecia. Alopecia is a disease that causes people to lose their hair, right? Fall out in bunches and things of that nature. So we can go a whole bunch of different routes on this. The reason we're having a conversation today, again, as I said, kind of in the monologue, is Richard Williams has put out his statement on the whole incident and how he feels about it. Let me ask you guys first. I'm going to start guest first. Erik, just about the incident in and of itself. When we saw it, when we heard about it, now after you probably got the chance to see some of the replays and things of that nature, just kind of that high level overview first, and then we'll go into the conversation.
So apparently it seemed like Chris Rock had made a joke about, and it wasn't really, you had to know what was going on, or, to me, I felt like it was an inside joke. If you don't know, he's made a comment saying, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing G.I. Jane 2 or something like that, to that nature. And then, everything seemed like it was calm. Next thing you know, you see, Will Smith coming up to the stage and just kind of wallops him in the face. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the overview, but one has to understand or think. I mean, there's all kinds of like little theories going on right now, right? Like if it was fake, if it was set up, or if it was, why did he do that? Jada told him to do that because everything was, calm. But they're some of these theories make a little bit of sense. I mean, I don't know. What's your take?
Well, I'll let Montel get into it as well. But again, as we saw it live, right? I mean, it was a joke. It was comedy. When the cameras flashed back on Will and Jada, they chuckled at it. But listen, when the cameras were off, you don't know if Miss Pinkett Smith leaned over to Will and said, "No, you're gonna go up there and you're gonna at least say something to this man about." We don't know what happens behind closed doors of that house. Some of what goes on behind closed doors of that house is out in the streets. We know about the Jada entanglement. We know that they've got an interest. I'm not even gonna call it an interesting relationship, but we know that they have a different kind of relationship between them two. But again, that's neither here nor there, and that's what people can do what they need to do and they want to do. I'm on both sides of this conversation, to be honest with you, just because I understand Will's side, I understand Chris's side, but I'm more in a line with what Richard Williams has to say. So let me get Montel in on this right now too. Yeah, hold on. And Tony Davis shot hey brother, we're good to see you too. Yeah, it wasn't fake. If you heard the uncensored version from overseas, because there was Japanese TV was showing it, and they have the unedited, uncensored one. You could hear the bass in Will's voice when he was telling Chris, don't keep my wife's name out your mouth. You can tell that was not staged, scripted, or anything. It was all real. So go ahead, Montel.
My take on it, man. First, disappointment. Disappointment in Will Smith.
Okay.
And Will, I'm disappointed in Will Smith. I mean, I go by the part. I don't mind him, or I respect him for defending his wife. I don't respect him in the nature where his timing and when he did it.
Yeah.
You're gonna put yourself on the center stage. We've worked so hard as a people to kind of get to this point. This is the first Oscars directed by African American. We had 2 African American women hosting this show. We had all these things going on. There was such a positive note. And then for Will to lose his cool, to go up there and do that, it's uncalled for, man. That's a coward move. If he wanted to face him, you could have waited till that 5-minute monologue is about to be over in about 5 minutes. You could have waited 5 minutes and went backstage and handled your business. Mm-hmm. Or you could have waited to the after party. Yeah. You could have went to his dressing room to confront him about the situation or whatever it was. And alopecia or not, the joke was not that tasteless. It wasn't a tasteless joke. He was making a comment. He was making he's a comedian. He made a funny notion about G.I. Jane, which we know was bald Demi Moore. Mm-hmm. And this is her haircut. It's almost just kind of like a light joke to fluffing it up. Will took it too far. Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean, I think that was just a coward move. I won't stop supporting Will. I mean, it ain't like it was detrimental or anything like that. But I do believe, man, his actions really put people, African Americans, on the backside and people that want to be booked in a very awkward position.
Yeah.
Because he's a megastar.
Good point.
He's on that level with The Rock and all them. He's a megastar. Now, people will get the perception that you condone that behavior at your shows by having him there? Or and the narrative that I'm kind of upset about is like us as African Americans were split down the middle, right? I'm not understanding why the sides thing. Like, you're wrong is wrong, man. You're wrong for getting up in front of the stage and slapping the man.
Yeah.
Because us people, we know better.
Yeah.
We know our timing. We're supposed to handle things at a certain time. You know, if you're in a crowd full of people and you have a problem with somebody, you're like, I gotta wait for him to go outside before I go talk to him. Or I gotta make sure he's not around that situation before I go handle his business. And Will's smarter than that. So me personally, I think he's just going through some things in the public eye, man, that he's just so frustrated with that this caused him to kind of, that brief. He had a Kanye moment on this. Straight up.
Make it plain right there for the people in the back of the room. All right. Let me go into why I said I was on both sides, because you've actually explained the reason why I said I was on both sides. But let me give a shout out. Laura Williams in the building. Appreciate you for being here. Listen, and you mentioned it already. That joke wasn't that wasn't a Chris Rock joke. You know what I mean? He's gone deep in on folks, and that was, if anything, that was a G-rated joke in terms of anything that man has said before.
James, one point before you get onto the deep monologue, hold on. Augusta Stanna had more than Jada's name in his mouth, and Will did nothing. I said it.
I think the show is over right there.
Augusta Stanna had more in his mouth than Jada's name, and Will Smith did nothing but sat there and cried on her show. Ooh. So don't talk about this macho thing that you just do to, I'm defending my wife's honor at all costs. You didn't defend it when the dude had this entanglement with your wife. You did nothing to it. Nothing physical at all. God. But yet now you want to go to poor Chris Rock on the stage, on a worldwide stage, and show your manhood all of a sudden, where even if Chris Rock could defend himself, he really couldn't if he wanted to sell his business. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's protecting his brand by not fight back. I would have fought back, but I'm saying I understand why Chris Rock didn't take a swing at him or didn't fight back. That was a coward move, man. I don't know why people are trying to excuse it, why it's not. Yes, defend your wife, but you could have waited 5 minutes. Your anger ain't going to go away in 5 minutes when he's done with his monologue. Just go backstage and take care of it. Yeah. He got to do better, bro.
You taking all my little smoke and fire from it right there, and Tony is acknowledging that's so there it is right there, right? Just the fact that he had to act a fool like that, but he didn't act a fool when Jada was in the midst of those entanglements. Again, we're gonna stay out of those people's houses and out of their four doors and four walls, but that's a situation that we as a community, as fans and all have seen. And for a comedian to make a very non-evasive joke, I think, like the one Chris did towards Jada. So that harms, I think, other comedians out there as well. Because Erik and I were just at a comic event where just imagine if, the whole art of comedy, and every time you hear something that you don't like or you think is offensive or whatever, you get up on stage and you're going to go up there and try to hit somebody. Come on. So I worry about security on that. Erik and I used to work security for a lot of events, for a lot of concerts and shows. So I started thinking about, where was security when you got, it's Will Smith just walking up on stage and going to approach somebody. Again, just like you said, Montel, I was thinking about a Kanye moment when Kanye walked up there on Taylor Swift. So that's a whole conversation I think needs to happen from a back end operations perspective as well.
Chris, but you got to think about it. You've been in that situation. Those events are strictly for stars to be able to respect other stars and come up on stage and be able to celebrate their accomplishments. You're not worried. If it's a fan, there's security there. A fan's fanatic is different. The star that's in the audience, you don't plan for security for that. So what has happened? So now what has happened is now Will, kind of as you said, has kind of set us back a handful of years by his actions in front of the entire world. You got two black men up here acting a fool at the Oscars. One black man acting a fool.
Well, but
not two. One.
No, we know that. We know that, but again, the conversation is going to be Rockin' and Smith up there at the fool. Kevin Hart is probably saying, man, I said something 20 years ago. I didn't get my chance. Now we got finally a year where we got Wanda Sykes. We got
Tasha. Was it Tasha or Regina Hill? Regina Hall or
Regina Hall. We got Regina Hall up here hosting. So we didn't made it. We didn't got over this hump. And now here come Will Smith slapping somebody in the head. Chris Rock showed more restraint.
Yep.
Than anybody. Chris Rock took a slap too. Now, so shout out to Chris Rock's chin for being able to take that slap like he did, because he went back on that slap, but he had more restraint than I think the three of us would have had, because we'd have brought that place down.
Stage. Will Smith wouldn't have made it off the stage. He wouldn't have made it off the stage. And
again,
he walked up and tried to swing on me.
So there it goes again to a whole nother extreme, a whole nother level, right? We just started acting a fool if a grown man had put their hands on us like that. Now, I saw my mom was asking about why a slap? Why didn't he use his fist? So interestingly enough, Mom, and think about this, and folks kind of consider this. I think it was Shannon Sharp who was on. What's the show that he's on? Not First
Skip
Take.
Bayless. I forgot.
But so Shannon Sharp was just on talking about the mental effect of a slap. It's actually more disrespectful to hit a grown man, especially a black man, with a slap as opposed to even a punch. So hit him with the N-word, spit on him, or slap him. Those are probably the three most disrespectful things that you can do to anybody, but especially to a black man. So that just showed complete disrespect for Chris from Will. That's the reason behind the implications and the significance of the slap as opposed to the punch. Where does all this lead into a conversation on Team No Sleep? Again, Richard Williams came out and said, listen, I completely disapprove and disavow and do not condone any of that violence. This man is coming out and saying, look, this should be a night of us celebrating the fact that this movie got made, the fact that we won the Oscar for this movie. And then it really had to have this man to come out and say, I disagree with everything that Will Smith and the way that he handled it. And I think we're all in agreement in this. And seeing some captions and some pictures of Tyler Perry, Denzel Washington going and talking to Chris Rock during the intermission like grown men would do, right? That actually is comforting as well. I'm not going to say I'm putting Will Smith in the same category as Kanye, because I don't let Kanye alone, but kind of disappointed. Definitely going to say I'm kind of disappointed. I will say that.
Yeah. I'm 100% agreement. I'm disappointed in his actions, and I say it's a Kanye moment because it's a shocker moment that no one else expects. Just like when Kanye said that Bush didn't like black people, this is probably number 2 to that one.
Yeah.
As far as some crazy stuff that happened on TV, people doing or the actions on TV, that definitely was perplexed African American community. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy, man. I mean, I think the one comment I read is that this action overshadowed the whole accomplishment of African Americans made in presenting and hosting the Oscars.
Yes.
That one moment that he did that took away all that accomplishment that we came across and been able to achieve and done. So let me ask you something. That director, the African American director that directed the Oscars, you think he's going to get an opportunity to direct it again?
I do. I do. I don't think they're going to.
He's gonna get
Yeah.
I don't think you'll get another opportunity to direct the Oscars again.
So I think here's my Monday morning quarterback, right? I don't think Will is going to lose his Oscar. I think there's going to be some ramification, some discipline, just maybe going to slap him on the hand. They're going to write a sternly worded letter. Right. Yeah. I don't think Will is going to lose any endorsements. I don't know if he's got any endorsements out there or whatever the case may be. And I also don't think I pray and I hope that they won't put this on the shoulders of the director, because again, this was completely out of his control in terms of what happened. What I do hope comes out of this, well, one of the things I hope comes out of this is that I know Chris Rock is on tour. Listen, I hope every single show is sold out. I want Chris to have a standing room only, not because I want to hear what he's going to say. Right. And he doesn't even need to sue Will Smith for anything, because they both have more money than they need. I just want Chris Rock to, because again, he took it better than I think, again, the three of us would have taken it. And if he's still out there touring this year, I want his shows to be sold out. If he comes to my neck of the woods, I'm buying tickets for all of us and we going to his show. But who knows what's going to happen? I don't think there's going to be any criminal actions. I saw Jada's little statement as well. Time for some healing. I don't know what that means. I saw the comment that Tony brought up talking about what Jaden wrote up on his Instagram account, talking about this is how we handle things. Now, was he talking about the slap, or was Jaden talking about winning the Oscar? Right, very, very, very vague in terms of his statements there. So I don't like that precedent from a family as well. Right, your daddy's up there slapping another grown man for really no known reason, and you gonna say this is how we do things in the Smith house? Come on now.
I think that like I said, man, I think Will Smith is fighting some demons, bro. Let's be real. I think he's going through whatever transition or whatever point in his life that he's doing something, because this is really out of character for him, right? That we've seen. This is really out of character. Every other bit we've seen him, huh?
For who? Will?
Will, I mean,
no, Will and slap fools before.
Oh, yeah, the reporter that tried to kiss him.
Yeah,
that reporter thing was whack. I mean, for him to go on stage and do something like this is kind of out of character.
Okay, there you go.
I don't think that's part of his demeanor. I mean, in that facet, I believe though. I think he's going through some things, man. We gotta think what this man is. We talk about mental health on this show a lot. You think Will Smith isn't going through some mental health things going on with from 2 years ago, being embarrassed to this whole situation with the entanglement, to going through all this stuff? I mean, I think he got to a point right now where maybe that was his breaking point. You know what I mean? That comment, him still trying to work it out. You got to think all eyes is on him. Everybody in the world knows your wife had, some infidelity issues with whoever, and maybe he has, but we just don't know about it. But all this is coming down on him at once. And probably one of the biggest moments, all eyes on him, and I think he might have just snapped. I mean, we don't know, but I'm gonna tell you right now,
something happened. Go ahead.
I can only imagine what mental state he's in. He's been able to handle everything because we're resilient. People have been able to be resilient. But you cannot tell me he is not affected by the things, the emojis and stuff online. What everybody says about him. You can only cover it up for so long before it comes out and comes to a head. Maybe this is that moment. Now, I did read that they were cool. He apologized to Chris Rock. They talked at an after party. Mm-hmm. Chris Rock is a big man. I mean, a big man as far as his demeanor, because he didn't press charges. He just told the police, there ain't no big deal. It's all good. He was able to sit down with this man at an after party, regardless of if it was an authentic apology or not. He was able to sit down with him and talk with him and see what's going on and go, what's up? He's just a bigger man. He's a constant, that term constant professional? Mm-hmm. That's epitome of Chris Rock. He took the moment, he seized the moment, didn't lose control, was fine, man. I really respect him for doing that. But Will took an L on that one, man. He took a big L on that one, man. That was uncalled for.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this up here right here. Laura Williams is saying she disagreed. Yeah, Will Smith damaged his own reputation, but he had a ton of respect going in. He clearly needs some great family therapy. Something is wrong with Will now. # mental health matters. And again, there's because for him not to publicly act a fool like that over the entanglement, where you got records being made, you got all this other stuff. Let's not check out the jam too. I got it in my iTunes, the entanglement. Come on, I rock that when I go. But for the man to make the joke that he did, and then for Jada, and then for Will to smile and laugh about it, and Jada didn't laugh about it, okay. But then when the cameras panned off, I guarantee she leaned up to him and was like, she said something, and he switched up real quick and said, "Oh, okay." I'm confident she didn't tell him to go up there and knock the man in the head. He just took it to that extreme. Why? Who knows? Maybe again, he just had some demons that were working with him or through him. His apology when he won the award to the other nominees and to the Academy and all that was something he felt that was something he had to say. this apology that he made to Rock himself on IG. I don't want to see it on IG. I don't even want to see it. Just talk to the man. How come we got to talk through all these other third person mediums? How come we got to talk through our publicists and social media and all this other stuff? I'm not worried about your brand and all this stuff. Won't you just pick up the phone or go to the man's house? You know where he lives. Go talk to, that's your boy. You slapped him on stage in front of the whole planet. And we still talking about it today. You need to go up there. Yeah. EB, if you was to smack me in the head, of course, there going to be some consequences and repercussions on both ends. But, you know, we going to talk about it. We've been close to those types of situations anyway. But then grown men have the conversations amongst themselves. Not just grown men, but just grown folk. I don't need to post something on Twitter or on my Instagram saying, I apologize for what I did to you, Montel, and then leave it at that. I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't understand how it went from one extreme to the next. Because like you said, they were laughing. Next thing you know, it was an anger fest, you know, and then he goes to crying. So, you know, and one of the theories that we're going to try to discuss on Friday on our show on Unscripted, little tagline, is the fact that this could have been a setup. Because, and again, I'm not saying it was fake. Maybe he did get hit and his face got, you know, hit. But what they're saying is because the Oscars, because of COVID, didn't have a great season or a lot of ratings, that look at their ratings now just because of that action that happened. To me, I feel like it went from an extreme from two extremes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think it was like a and he had that two side to himself, right? Yeah. He won his laughing, or actually three-sided coin. He was laughing in 1 minute, he's pissed off the next minute, and then he's being empathy crying the next minute. He's having, to me, he's having an emotional episode. I really believe that, and I can only imagine, man. I try to put myself kind of in that shoes and try to understand. I can't imagine his mental makeup, man. I mean, you got to think. Yeah. Everybody in the world knows about that situation. People still joke about it. All the people in the room, you know, knows about this. Maybe some of the people she was even with in her discretion, or he was with her discretion, are in the room. So you got to imagine all this is going building up in him. He's tired of being that guy that's always being poked at. You got to think, Will Smith has been poked at ever since he was a rapper, right? He was the corny rapper when he was young. He wasn't a hardcore guy. He was the corny rapper to turn to being an actor. You got the Tupac. You got so much going on, man. I think it just kind of maybe came to that head at that right at that particular moment. I think it just came to a head. And the dude lost it. I mean, he kind of just lost track of himself. And like I said, I'm still a fan of Will Smith. He's a Will Smith fan. He hasn't lost me. I just think his actions could have been done differently. Like I said, and I have no problem with him defending his wife. Matter of fact, he's supposed to defend his wife. True. But then the manner in which he did it was wrong. He should have waited till after he wrapped up his monologue and handled it backstage. And went and talked to the man or had conversations back then. And if he was going to throw blows back there. So nobody can see it, so we ain't got it all over the news. And we're here talking about it. Go handle it at the after party. Pull him to the side, talk to him, throw blows there. Yeah. You don't do it on national TV for the whole world to see, for you to slap another black man. Yeah. That's just disrespectful. It was uncalled for. And it was bullyish, if that's a word. It was very bullyish because he even knew Chris Rock, either he knew he wasn't going to respond or he couldn't respond at that moment as far as physical altercation. I'm gonna tell you right now. I know he picked the right person to do it with because he wouldn't do that to somebody else. Another one of those comedians. He won't do it to the Corey.
No evasive motion or nothing. No evasive action. Yeah. I mean, you know, like you're right. He should have handled it like he handled the entanglements. I mean, you know, that's just that's what it is.
Yeah. So let me reset the room a little bit. Shouts out, I see you, Dr. Jackson, in the room. Appreciate you for being here. And this is definitely something that could possibly be part of Race Talks, right? Part of your series. Reason we're bringing this up is because, again, Richard Williams, Serena and Venus's father, came out with his statement in terms of completely disavowing what Will did to Chris, right? And again, getting the award for the movie about him and about his daughter. So that's the social impact of the sport piece, talking about that. Whole different layers in terms of this whole conversation. Again, what had happened on stage, why it happened, who would happen with, right? The looking through the lens of two black men up there getting into a situation where the whole planet is literally watching. Everyone's talking. People are talking about this, unfortunately, now more than they're talking about, well, I don't know, than what's really matters in society right now. We got wars happening overseas. We got high gas prices over here. We got this, and this. Melanie's talking about, listen, let's talk about this. 50% of commentary from hosts and presenters is about roasting others, but the audience applauds and laughs. That's a bigger issue as well, right? So there's other things that are more important and more relevant to what the society should be talking about. We're talking about this because it hits from a lot of different angles, right? Three black men here talking. We see this, and we see this through a different lens, and it just, again, it sets us back years, unfortunately. When we see it and we're like, oh man, come on, no, he didn't really do this, and so now we got to have this conversation. We got to kind of reset the whole. We got to reset the game, unfortunately. So we got to have these discussions. Then the fact that it touches on the sports side with the Williams fathers and Williams sisters. That's why we're having a conversation here. So this matters having this conversation. I just want to kind of reset that room in terms of folks asking why we talking about it like we're experts. We are experts in this situation because it affects us in a lot of different ways than you may think. Go ahead, brother.
But I was also thinking, how does this affect children? And I'll say, teens and everything.
Come on now.
Let's be honest. They're very influential. He's a very influential person. That's an influential event. Is that the way we're supposed to handle our business? I mean, I've seen on social media, because I deal with a lot of kids all the time. They applauding. Will Smith is this. He slapped the mess out, making it more of a joke, which it is a serious matter. This is a serious kind of an issue because it shows how black men are portrayed in handling issues or disagreements. I don't want, I would hope kids don't react that same way, or they don't. I hope they have enough aptitude to be able to digest it and understand that was just an isolated incident that happened. But, people imitate art. They imitate artists. They imitate people that other people look up to. I hate for it to be that way, but I mean, how does this affect kids? I can tell you, my kids already. My daughter asked me about it. What happened? What was going on? Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Look at you. What did you do that for? You know what I'm saying? Those conversations, unfortunately, we got to have with our kids to make sure they understand, because if we don't, I promise you, someone, they think that's funny, and they think that's what you're supposed to do, and they will slap somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sad part, because honestly, violence is not just cornered by African Americans. You know what I'm saying? It's not. We don't corner the market on violence and reacting that way.
Okay. White people do, come on, EB. Come on now.
But it's perpetuated that way in the media, though. So not the media,
exactly. And that's what I wanted. And that's what I wanted to say is that we're having this conversation because it shouldn't really affect us like that, but it does affect us like that. In the fact that we don't corner the market on violence. You can look back in history. Violence came to us first, and again, I know that's not fair to say. I'm just saying that we don't corner the market on violence. There's people that are violent in nature, or what is it when you're a child? The reason why when you watch small children is because they can't communicate. And again, if we start communicating, and again, like you said, Montel, talk to your children. My kids, I sit there and talk to them. Hey, here. Think about what the right thing to do is, we shouldn't. It shouldn't be that we corner the market, or the stereotype is that, oh yeah, these guys are violent.
Right.
That's the thing. Yeah,
I want to bring this comment up because again, this is back to what I was just mentioning. We're talking about this again, 72, 96, however many hours after it happened, because it touches so many people at different aspects, but so many other more important things have happened. Shouts out to Mr. Charles Jackson for putting us into perspective here, talking about this more than the anti-lynching bill that was just signed. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this ain't the show for that, but we can have another show. And Mr. Jackson, I would love to be a part of that panel to talk about that, because I got some things that we can talk about that too. But again, see, there's a relevance, there's a significance of
just for the mere fact we have to have a law like that is insane.
Look at you leaning into the microphone. You peeking right now. Go ahead.
Don't get me started on that one.
Right?
I want to be. Hey James, I want to be on that panel too. Dare have me on that panel and see where I come off it.
Oh yeah.
Charles Jackson, I'll talk to you in about an hour, brother, when we get off of this one. Awesome. Listen, okay, let's go and keep going. Let's move forward. Let's stay focused here. That's what we do. We stay focused on you. Ladies and gentlemen, football fans are here. We're gonna go back into sports. We're gonna talk about NFL because the owners and the teams are meeting. They're having conversations. Rules have been changed. I don't know if it's really going to matter, but one in particular that has changed thus far is the postseason possession rule. Man, say that 3 times fast. New rule that was passed that was actually brought up by the Indianapolis Colts and the Philadelphia Eagles. They proposed this rule that both teams are guaranteed to have possession of the ball during the postseason. Not during the regular season, but during the playoffs. Both teams are going to be guaranteed. So no sudden death immediately. But if after both teams have possession and it's still a tie, then it reverts back to the traditional, what is the sudden death rule in terms of whoever scores next. What are you guys' thoughts on this? And do you think this really matters in terms of how games are going to evolve and going to be decided by giving each team that opportunity? Look, you scored your touchdown. All right, I'm gonna let you at least give it a shot now before we call this game.
To me, it's funny, man. Like the NFL, why is it taking them so long to figure it out? College has it already figured out. College, everybody gets a possession. You go back and forth until the team wins, and you start to stretch the field further and further. First, you start off on the 20. If they both score and everything, they get them on the 30, and kind of make sure they bring it in from there. College already has it figured out. NFL, this is just. The rule was stupid in the beginning. Let's be real. One team gets a possession, they score, the game's over with. Well, I mean, if you're a fan of that team that loses, then there's a problem. Right. The team that wins, it's okay. So I think this is a rule change. This is just something that's not even. Yeah, I like it. This is not really. This is no social impact to anything.
Well, that's why it wasn't the first. Hold on. That's why it wasn't the first story. Come on now. We talk about the news.
But the only impact this is on is people that gamble. Let's be real. People that
That's
gamble.
what I'm. So there you go, brother. I'm setting you up.
And people with what's it called in fantasy football. This is all that matters to. It doesn't matter to the common fan or somebody else. This is okay. You change the rule. You did the right thing, and you only did it for playoffs. So it only matters for people that gamble and people that are probably into fantasy football. Otherwise, it doesn't really make any difference to us as the fans. I mean, really, I mean.
So work with me on this, brother. Right. It matters to the folks that gamble. Think about it. It goes in line with the last story of tonight that you pointed to me. Let me tell the story. Dog, y'all just come along for the ride. So again, EB, talk to us. What do you think about this? Are you got any dogs in this fight? Or I shouldn't have said that either.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm kind of torn. I'm like,
who was fighting dogs? I shouldn't have said that. That was
I'm kind of torn. I feel like if it's tie and you have to have. I don't like it. It doesn't really make a difference, right? Unless you're betting. But if the game is going on, I'd rather just you know what, you already won.
All right. I'll give you some microphone etiquette though. I mean, every time you lean into that mic, you start clipping, brother. So don't. I got you. I got your levels perfect. Yeah. That MV7 is doing his job, brother. You don't have to lean into it. It's picking up. The game is right. See, there you go peeking again.
I will say this though, James. Like for gamblers, for people that are avid gamblers or people that are into sports betting a lot. I do believe this rule is really beneficial for them. You know what I mean? This is we already know there's a lot of money that goes on in gambling as it is, and can you imagine the playoffs where the stakes are even higher? I think this does play into that mode. Right. I don't know if that was a consideration. I know that. I mean, if it was a consideration, it wasn't talked about at least to the masses. But I mean, maybe behind closed doors. But this is a really big deal for people that gamble. I think that gives them that edge. Remember, gambling isn't just the team that wins; it's all about the spread, right? So if the spread is here, and we're going back and forth, and it's a tie. Those people that bet within that spread or outside of that spread, man, that's a difference of millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
You know,
and
to
all of
casinos
that.
and stuff. So
Yeah, today's decision wasn't actually in the, because I still get the communications from NFL, but all of that wasn't highlighted specifically in the ruling today. But yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Because again, I saw Charles asking, why not the entire season? But again, it's where that money is. I really agree with you, Montel, on that. It's where the money is, and folks are betting more on those playoff games, on that wild card game, obviously on the AFC, NFC championships, on the Super Bowl. So you got more of an influx of cash coming in. So that's where it's going to resonate, where it's going to matter. Go ahead. And Melanie,
to answer your question, why it's not on regular season? Why it's not an issue for regular season? That's a time issue because of TV money, right? You can't have a game that goes in the morning and they go in these 4 or 5 overtimes. It will run into the other game where they lose money. They lose money because that game's taken over. That's more of a money issue because that's their TV money. But playoffs, there is no time set regulation. They don't care about that because it's so heavily watched and so heavily betted on. Now, I believe this rule, if it's really successful in playoffs and they can figure out a way, it will seep into the regular season. It will. It's going to have to because that might make the difference of a team making to the playoffs or a team not making the playoffs. As soon as we have that controversy in overtime, like a team lost by 1 game or they didn't get a chance to get into the playoffs, then they'll go back again and say, we need to implement this rule going into the regular season. But I mean, the NFL right now, they're milking their players. I mean, they're getting 17 games out of them now. Now this playoff thing, they're really milking them for everything they can go. So to add all this extra overtime stuff for them during the regular season it's going to be difficult, unless they increase the roster count. So
I would actually
that's the reason why. I mean, I just want to answer that. That's the reason why they're not going to put it in the regular season.
Yeah,
they're not. They're just gonna do it.
I would love to see them actually get rid of a couple of games. I would love to see them get rid of the Pro Bowl. It's no longer a game to me, to be honest with you. I don't even watch. I don't think any true fan of the game watches it as a game, almost watches it more as a piece of entertainment. And, we got folks heckling here. So listen, one of my moderators, hold on. She is one of the moderators, heckling in the background and then trying to give you a little props there. Yes, I change mics on a frequent basis, but I'm just saying. Thank you, MDH. Appreciate you. And you're right, though. Pro Bowl does suck.
Oh yeah, the Pro Bowl is a useless game where the players don't even play in it anymore.
Yeah,
and if they don't start to incentivize it or whatever we call it, make it worth something.
Yes,
where
sir.
maybe if the NFC wins, the Super Bowl is automatically played in the NFC, or the Super Bowl is played in the AFC. Where like baseball, how baseball has an incentive why you play in the All-Star game. I think they just get rid of it. The Pro Bowl doesn't even need to be there. Like people, no one watches it and no one attends.
Exactly. And there's no effort put into it. I agree with
No
you, and I
at all.
agree with Millie saying it's awkward to watch because again, no one wants to be out there possibly getting hurt, right? No one wants to have an ACL sprain. No one wants to do something bad to themselves for a game that doesn't do anything to their paycheck. Doesn't take care of their.
But me, you know me, man. My creative mind. If they were smart, if NFL was smart, and
come on now,
off it, that would be the Senior Bowl, coached by NFL players. So the upcoming seniors are going to be ready, eligible for the draft. That would be their bowl because now people will watch it because their college players are there, and they would be able to get tricks, tips, and coached by NFL players that want to go into coaching. That would be more of an entertaining game than watching the Pro Bowl because those guys have no vested interest in it no more. But the Senior Bowl, you would have vested interests because those are guys that are about to be drafted. Everyone would want to watch it. It would be on a national stage. It'd be something that's there. So NFL got to figure out a way. And since they're Senior Bowls, they're no longer part of the university, so they don't lose any eligibility. It'd be okay. They're about to be able to come for the draft. That's where I would go with.
I just don't understand why you're not on somebody's payroll.
Me neither, brother. Make that call for me. I'm right there.
Well, your phone should be ringing right now.
Hey, EB, we know ESPN listens and watches Team No Sleep because verbatim their shows. So I'll go to the gym after our show and I'll literally hear verbatim everything that Montel and I talk about on ESPN radio. So we know they're watching. So shouts out ESPN, Montel Allen. I'm his agent. I got his phone number. I just want 2% off the top. I just want 2% off the top like the lotto. Let's keep it moving, folks. Let's keep it moving. This could be a good thing, I think. Masters are coming up for all you golfers out there, all of you fans of golf. Mr. Woods is in the building. He was playing actually today. He flew in his Gulfstream. ESPN made special mention that he came in his Gulfstream private jet. Shouts out to Tiger Woods and his real money. But he actually played 18 holes today, practice. We know Tiger has gone through a lot just from his back and the surgeries with that. And more recently, the car accident that he had, I think, on his way to his charity event. So for him to be out there and play a full 18-hole practice round at Augusta, where you got to do what? You got to walk the entire course. So, there's no caddy that's got you on their back, and there's no golf cart. That's a promising thing. Regardless of how people feel about Tiger Woods, personally, professionally, whatever, I still think the game needs him, right? I still think the game needs him to elevate the game to a must-see TV type of event. There's some great people out there that are hitting that ball right now. I can't hit the ball straight for nothing, but in terms of the excitement, this man comes out, he's wearing his all black throughout the week. And then Sunday he comes out with that Tiger red. You've seen the energy when this guy is out there, and then the draw from the crowd, the draw from the TV money, the draw from from everything that's around and surrounds the game. I think golf needs him to get back in playing shape and playing condition for it to thrive again. I don't want to go in too long on this because it's not really that big of an impacting story, but just tell me what you guys think about this. We'll start with you, Erik.
Yeah, I ain't got no dog in the fight because I don't watch golf.
Is that right?
I do not watch golf. I'll go to the driving range, but that's it. I'll do a couple of Happy Gilmores, but that's about it.
You're not a top golf kind of guy either? Okay.
I'm not a golf guy at all.
All right. Well, Woods is listed among the expected 91 participants, as it says, for the Masters. He's already won 15 times, 15-time major championship. I think it would be good to see him there. Give us your thoughts, Mato.
I got 4-letter word, man. Icon. We need the icon back. I think you're absolutely right. I don't know if he can play at that level still due to all those injuries and everything, but we just need Tiger around the game and for his face to be in the public eye around the game. I really truly believe he's one of the iconic figures we have in sports. He transcends golf. People want to admit it or not. He transcends golf, not just from a race thing, just from his play, as he was a dominant player. And I think the game needs that. I think they need that boost of energy of him being around. Whether he's playing, announcing, commentating, we just want Tiger to be around the game.
True.
I think that's more than enough, to give some energy around it and everything. And I'm glad to see he's out there participating and walking, because remember, his car accident was life-threatening. It wasn't like it was something that was small potatoes. I mean, he literally, he was in a bad situation. And for him to be able to come back and to be able to walk Augusta and play 18 holes and just to give us that glimmer of light. I would hope that would be more news. I mean, I know on his career when he started playing, he wasn't he wasn't winning like he used to believe, but he was still out there competing. I just think they just need his face and his energy around the game, and that will make me more than happy enough, to have him around and have him kind of give his input and give us his thoughts. I think that'll draw more of us to be back into the game of golf.
Yes,
because we missed him. I mean, those times we missed him when he was hurt. We didn't really pay attention, but when Tiger's playing or he's a part of the game, he has a lot of our eyes watching.
Pretty much.
Icon, man, I wish him the best. I wish him. I hope he plays, man. I think that would be great.
It would be dope.
If he could do a Willis Reed on him, be hurt all the time and come back and win one. Shoot, that'd be some stuff. But I mean,
that would be all we need. Yeah, drop the mic and go out there and win one more time. That would be awesome. I like what Melanie said. Marketing. Agree. Tiger is great for the sport. He needs to be involved in any way possible. Commentating. I haven't started drinking yet, folks. Commentating, playing, or drinking. Well, see, there she talking about drinking. Oh my God. One of these days we're gonna get you on this stream, MDH. You got the keys to the front door. You know the URL to come into the studio. You can come if you want to here. What's next? More serious story. let's get into health. Let's talk about some things. Let's talk about Big Diesel himself. Let's talk about the chief marketing officer out at Carnival Cruises. Let's talk about Shaquille O'Neal. Hasn't taken care of himself since he got out of the NBA. He really hasn't. And he, in an article with, I believe it was GQ, he says, look, I haven't gone to the doctor in like 11 years. So that's a conversation in and of itself. That's a situation that needs to be rectified. Come on, you got to go see your dentist. You got to go see your doctor. You got to get the colonoscopy. You got to get all that stuff. And for Shaq, someone who has the means to get all of those things taken care of, hopefully he caught all of this before it got too severe. But the story here is Shaq is overweight. Shaq is suffering from sleep apnea. So he has to now get one of the machines to help him sleep at night, so he doesn't literally stop breathing in the middle of the night and actually lose his life. So that's pretty significant, right? I mean, and that's really telling for someone, again, in the public eye. Every time we see Shaq, he's fun, he's laughing, he's giggling. He and Charles Barkley are wrestling somewhere. Shaq is out there DJing, having fun, jumping up and down, having a great old time. But again, at the end of the day, you're not much if you don't have your health. Yeah. Not much if you don't have your health. So, I mean, give us your thoughts on this, EB. Again, we'll start with you since Montel finished last time. But, I mean, because I know you're a huge proponent of health and nutrition and things like that. He's talking about in this article that his diet was just off, right? Sitting around TNT with Charles Barkley, eating, laughing, eating, right, and not doing anything else. So talk to us a little bit about what you think about this here.
I mean, this is my wheelhouse. Health is my thing, and I think he's an athlete. I mean, he was an athlete. I mean, I would think you would always, when you do the work in the beginning, you only got the maintenance to do, in the end. You know what I mean? For me, hitting, I'll be 55 in 3 months. I hit the gym and I keep moving, and I try to eat right. And, like you said, he has the means to do this. But, you don't know everyone's situation. But if he's not doing the health stuff, but he definitely should be going to see the doctor. He definitely should be going to see the doctor.
Yeah. I mean, Montel, you think about that. He tries to make fun of it. He says, I had a new disorder called CBOTBD, Charles Barkley over the belt syndrome. All right. Sitting there eating all the time. I was waking up, going to work, chilling, eating, whatever. And his belly was over his belt. Folks, you got to take care of what goes into your body. You got to take care of you got to move. Movement is medicine. Movement is medicine, and you got to stay active. You got to stay agile, because again, if you don't have your health, you don't have that much. Because I'm having issues right now. Right. I mean, I just had, I won't go into it too much, but listen, even though I train a lot, I got some problems that I'm dealing with just from going a little heavy on the incline. I don't know if my mom is still watching. She's probably gonna call me after the stream and be like, "Oh boy, there you go." But all is well, Mama. All is. But I don't know, man. Lesson to learn: the moral of the story: take care of yourself and don't wait 11 years before you guys go see your doctor. Yeah, come on, Shaq.
Yeah, I
get some acronyms put on you.
I think this is a kind of the I hate to say it this way, it's kind of the telling story of an African-American male, right? We're athletic when we're young, we're doing all this stuff, but as we get older, we start to lose sight of our health and not taking care of ourselves and gaining weight and all, and developing these conditions that we can hopefully avoid. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm a victim of it too. I mean, I'm nowhere near my playing weight when I was playing football. I'm not there. I gained that daddy weight, as they say, that daddy bod, trying to work my way back out of it. But that's just by not knowing any better. Actually, we think that's what we're supposed to do, right? We emulate what's around us.
Right.
And if we think that's what it is. If people are all eating healthy and exercising, we do that. If people are not and they're eating healthy and they're around you, that's what you kind of do. That's kind of what this thing said. He was, around Charles and whoever was at, and he was just, hey, not running up and down the court. I don't need to do that no more. I could just hang out and chill and eat and do those things. But I mean, I think the more telling of the story is it's kind of the plight of an African American male, unfortunately, in our communities. We don't preach enough health, and everything. I mean, we do it when we're young because we're athletic, we're out there playing, we're doing all these things. But we know when you hit that 25, that 35, and then when you get to that 45, you know, that's when the body really starts to change that between that 35 and 45 range. And if we don't keep up and maintain like we're supposed to, these are the conditions that happen. Yeah. You know, you start to develop diabetes, you start to develop sleep apnea, you start to develop the overweight, you start to regain all these ailments, gout, and all those different things that you start to get. And I think his story is just telling us, hey, even all the money in the world didn't save him from doing it. So everybody else needs to make sure they stay on point and make sure you just take care of yourself. I think, like you said, movement is medicine. Exercise is golden. We have to be able to do it. If you can, you know, if you don't have the means, man, just go outside and walk.
Man, just do something.
Walk. You got to do. We have to be able to do something. And I think what our African American has a tradition of a poor diet, right, in our communities because of the things that are available to us. We have to kind of do double. We have to do double to exercise to get that off our body or get that out, get those toxins out of our body. And I think more than something, we got to preach water. I used to not be a water drinker at all.
Good man.
I try to drink a lot of water now. As much water. My wife got me on that. Drink water to kind of flush the system. I still haven't given up the soda 100%, but I don't drink nowhere near as much as I used to.
Right.
And I think that's something we don't ever talk about. That's a killer more than alcohol. That soda would do you in with them diabetes.
That's
if
true.
You keep drinking so much of it.
That high fructose corn syrup is the devil.
Yeah,
and
it just got and it got worse. Is the formulas they talk about get better than new formula? It's just more sugar, more fructose.
Try to make it sound healthy for you, but no, that's still fermented corn syrup.
So
hold on. Let me bring this up before you say anything else.
Yeah.
Look, MDH is what I'm holding them back. I don't know, but you know, we did fire up the Team No Sleep YouTube channel so he can start getting some of these royalties as well. So look, it's
I appreciate that, Melanie. Yeah, I appreciate
look, she got your vote in 2024.
Yeah,
she is your marketing coach. She is your look, I'm just here to heckle, like I say, from the background. That's all I'm here to do.
I mean, serious on a serious note, man. I mean, I really think the whole overall, and that's why I presented it. Is that's more of a thing that we need to really address in our community. And not just our community, I mean minority communities, period, because of where we live as far as the social aspect of our social economic situation. Yeah. It's completely drastically different. Obviously, if you have more money, you have more opportunities to do different things. You know, you got life coaches, you got exercise coaches, you got trainers and all that stuff. We got to kind of peel that layer back and talk to the people that don't have those things and how can they get out and about. How, where do we drive them when they work in a 9 to 5 and they just come home or working a double shift? That time to get that sleep in or try to get exercise in. We got to figure out a way to help them out. I think that's a story, and I think someone with all the money in the world like Shaq, he's telling you like I didn't even take care of myself. My health is not even as great as it should be. So that should just be a lesson for people, for everyone. Yeah. Please make sure you take care of yourself in some form or fashion.
I think it's it's unfortunate that he's going through the situation, but I think the silver lining of this is that it's Shaq, and Shaq resonates with the youth, right? So for the youth, teenagers, 20, 30-year-olds are saying, they connect with Shaquille O'Neal and say, man, if he's gotten to this point and he's going through these situations, maybe I can now look and see what he's doing to get better. He's saying now he's back in the gym, right? He's taking care of himself. He's exercising, he's training, he's watching what he puts into his body. He's not going to Popeyes. He's not going to McDonald's. He's not eating that garbage. He's putting in more color, green, reds, and colorful fruits and vegetables in his body as opposed to that madness. So that's probably if there's any plus to this entire situation that's happening, and it's controllable. So he got it. He went to the doctor. Yes, it took him 11 years to go to the doctor, but he's gone to the doctor and he's getting it addressed with. But the fact that it's Shaq, as opposed to let's say if it was Phil Mickelson,
Chris Rock.
No, because Chris is, I think would be the same as Shaq. But who did I say? Did I say Phil Mickelson? He resonates because we just had a golf story. That's why I brought Phil. Yeah. He resonates with a smaller subset, I think, and doesn't really resonate, especially with who we want to make sure is around to take care of us. the youth, right? This next generation is coming up. We want to make sure that they get on this narrow line and start walking straight as possible. So,
but
go ahead.
I agree with you, James, but I do believe it needs to be more solution based, man. And the reason why I say that is it's expensive to eat healthy. Let's just be honest. It's very expensive to eat healthy. And in our communities, when people don't have a lot, it's hard for them to eat healthy. You know, when water is more expensive than soda. You know what I mean? Or juice that's really high.
Or just health food in general. Health food in general is more expensive than all the crap.
EB, you get into that because you live this, right? You and your wife, right? Live this. So talk a little bit about this in terms of, again, the cost analysis.
Let me finish my description where I'm going there, and he can go ahead and he can correct it and tell me what to do or what people should do. I'm saying it's very expensive to eat healthy, which in my opinion it shouldn't be because it seems like it's plants. Manufacturing should be a lot cheaper than manufacturing meat or manufacturing whatever you're doing. But it's very expensive to eat healthy. It's very expensive to cook with olive oil than opposed to grease that you normally use. But even though we know olive oil is a more healthier one, my thing with Shaq can afford to get himself back right. He can. He can get a trainer. He can eat right. He can do all those things. Let's talk about Uncle Peanut on the corner. You know that we know this in the house. He working and that's all he can do, and he barely surviving. How does he fit in that mold? So I like when stars talk about it and they bring awareness to it. But if you don't bring awareness with it with some type of solution or some type of valuable option for people to do, then it's a mute conversation, man. I can't hear you because I can't do it. So please comment on it.
Well, honestly, for me, it's a cultural thing. I'm black, but my mom's Asian, so we grew up eating. I mean, we weren't rich, but she just gave us different types of like vegetables, and that's how we ate fish, vegetables. So it always stayed with me. And then for my dad, he's just always been an athlete. He's always been in shape, teaching karate and doing all this stuff. So it's been my background since I was knee high to a.
You're on mute. You're on mute. Went on mute again. Tell me when on mute, James.
I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties, man. I'm sorry, but like I said, it's a to me, I feel like you need to start at birth, and then you pass that, and you become an example moving forward. And like I said, it wasn't that we were rich; it's just how we ate. And again, in different neighborhoods or different family settings, the culture might be different. It's in the States, it's easy to see someone come to take your kids to McDonald's. When I go to to McDonald's every once in a while, right? And I was like, man, they got this kid already maybe in an obese state, and they're still taking him there. And I'm like, I think it really starts when you're young, and then you keep that going. Or if you at a point to where you already know you got to take care of yourself when you're older, pass that on to your kids, because if you don't start them young, they're going to have those habits, and those habits are going to stick with them for a long time. I'm sure Shaq probably, and again, I wasn't with him growing up, so I don't know how his beliefs are or his eating habits were. So he probably just, after he became so famous and now he's retired, he probably just went back to how he was before. So like I said, you have to know the background to know where he's at mentally, moving forward. So.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I believe it's a mind state, and obviously it's helpful if it starts when it's young to get to when you're older. My main thing, since we're all in that age range, that older age range between that 45, let's say 40 all the way to 60, that group right there, that's the group I hope that story resonates with, and I hope they figure out a way to kind of change their lifestyle as far as what they drink and what they eat. But again, talking to us three, we can afford it. We can financially afford to kind of change our lifestyle and eat a little bit more healthier. I wish I knew a way to touch the people that can't, or really would have a hard time struggling, want to transition into that lifestyle. But honestly, man, you just can't afford it. You really can't afford it. I go grocery shopping for my family, and I see how much it is, how expensive it is. You see, even if you just eat, if you're a regular diet, if you see farm-raised chicken in comparison to what they do regular with steroids and stuff for the chicken, the price is almost double. So it's
versus
so
organic, right? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wish people had other tips. I like Shaq's, telling the story, talking about what he's going through. That's great, bringing us awareness. But I know for a fact, that's like somebody that has $10 million telling me how to get $10 million and gives me really no solution.
Yeah.
He just said, hey, I made it. This is how I made it. I invested when it was penny stock and it grew. Well, homie, that don't help me at all because putting that penny stock is now $300 a share. You can't help me. So give me some solutions instead of just telling me, because awareness is one thing. Problem solving is another. I think we need to do some more problem solving with that.
Right.
Come on with that. I wish I got a new machine here. I don't have all my sound triggers. Boy, I sure would drop a mic on that right there. That's what you just said. But here's the thing when we think about it as well, right? Bringing it back to social impact of sport, Team No Sleep. I think entertainers, athletes, the folks who are more affluent, the folks who've got those larger checkbooks and larger bank balances, they can be that impact on the youth. They can actually do, like Tony Davis says, teach people how to be farmers, teach people how to eat organic food, teach people how to step away from the process and the high fructose corn syrup. Because that, again, we're looking at our youth. We're going to learn, and we know the difference between right and wrong, but let's talk to them youngsters that are in elementary and junior high and high school, and they're looking at the LeBrons and the Shaqs and whomever, the Jimmy Butlers, who we're going to talk about in a minute, right? They're looking at those folks in terms of what they could or should be doing. Those are the role models, more so than even their parents. They're looking at those players and what they're doing, what they're putting in their body, what they're spending their money on, buying the rims and the jewelry. Are they still buying rims? No, I don't know. But having, I just dated myself again on this one, man. I'm just gonna sit in the back. But my spiel is, in long story short, is that athletes, entertainers, those are the folks who kind of resonate with the youth, just because they're looking up, they're watching them on a continual basis and wanting to emulate them from a health perspective, right? Cleaning up the diet, cleaning up the nutrition, using movement as medicine, and actually doing something that's better for the body, for the mind, the spirit, the soul. Finance,
but marketing as well, because they market the crap out of crap, but what about the good food? So
But I stand by what I said. Awareness is very different than problem solving, and you know what I mean. We always bring in awareness. Hey, this is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. Well, tell me how to fix it. If you're gonna tell me, say, hey, don't drink soda no more. Drink water, and I'm telling you I can't afford water. Well, help me, Shaq, provide an alternative so I can make sure I get water. Or what? Make sure you tell me to boil my water before I drink it, because it tastes better than to get all that lead out and all this stuff out, so I can drink it. You need to provide me a solution to, if you want me to, along with the awareness. But I'm saying we do a great job doing awareness. I think athletes are starting to do more, entertainers are doing more, but they're not doing the problem solving. They're not solving the problem. They're not telling us what to do. That's why we continue to have high rates of blood pressure. That's why we continue to have high rates of obesity. That's why we continue to have high rates of diabetes. We hear the stories. Hey, I beat diabetes. Okay, well, that's cool. Well, how did you do it? I roll my exercise bike every day. I can't afford an exercise bike.
Yeah, I can't afford $3,000 Peloton. Tell me how someone around my neighborhood can do it for $10.
So what? So give me a solution. What can I do if I can't get a Peloton bike? What is another alternative? What's those things? Where's the problem?
Wait. You said for $10? I apologize. I'm gonna tell Mike again. You said for $10?
Yeah.
Planet Fitness.
Oh yeah. But see, I'm preaching that. And this is our Planet Fitness. I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate, man. I'm being extreme.
No, I get it.
He being me tonight. I love it. I'm watching it.
$10. Yeah. But I'm saying, where they got to provide more solutions, man. I really do. Yeah, I'm loving the awareness thing. I love it all, and that's one of the reasons why I brought that article up. The awareness that this even affected by him. But man, come on, we need to be able to provide some more solutions to help people, other people. Like my grandmother, my uncle in South Central LA, he's still eating chicken feet and stuff like that. Stuff that we don't, we can barely eat. But I mean, I can't say stop eating that without providing a solution to something that either tastes that way or more affordable in his pocketbook for him to do. So we got to be, I think we as a community, because we're such a powerful community, powerful entertainers, powerful in this world, powerful influencers, we need to be able to start providing also powerful problem solutions.
So promoting.
Sometimes there can be solutions, but we have to understand there's still the human condition. Honestly, I'll keep it short. But like, I was a personal trainer some time ago when I got out of the Air Force. I had a little business, those Get Busy Fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would even still train people at the gym when I didn't have a client for free, but they didn't take the initiative to keep it going. So so it's having a solution, but empowering them to be able to and be.
Yeah, dog. Then his mic go out. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next story. Look, next time I come see me, I'm bringing you a new mic. I already bought Montel.
I don't think it's the mic. Your thing keeps changing the default. The system. I have to keep going in and changing the system because it keeps dropping my mic and going back to some default thing.
My hands are here, player. Every 99% of the other folks that come on this, I tell you what, this might be the last time you come on Team No Sleep. Come up here talking madness. I will say this, and then we'll move on to the next one. I think he's
dropping some knowledge, though. We just can't hear him. I think he's dropping some science, man, but we can't hear him.
No, he's not saying nothing right now. He's just talking outside his neck. I would say this, but these athletes should have stop promoting tequila and Ciroc, and maybe start promoting some sparkling water and those kinds of things. Let's move on.
But be accountable. You got to take the initiative. You got to be accountable. We can't do everything and spoon feed everyone. They got to be accountable.
That's it, man.
I like that. I like that comment by Tony Davis.
Yeah, get back to getting out and enjoy local parks. The world is starting to open back up. Look, I've been on a lot of planes already in the last few weeks, so we getting back to being there. Moving on to the next story. Let's talk about altercations. Let's talk about not getting along well, at least from the surface level. Jimmy Butler, look, he's been with the Heat for a minute. Him and Coach Spoelstra. Coach has won the championship already. I don't think Jimmy's got a ring, so he's gonna have to listen. But there have been times captured in the middle of a game where Jimmy Butler and Coach Spoelstra just don't seem to agree eye to eye. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. I'm gonna make sure the sound is off because I don't want to get the YouTube copyright strike. But very, very aggressive conversation going on between them. Look, I understand competitors, champions, athletes and coaches want to win. That's all that matters is the W. The L's are not what get you to parade. And everyone wants to win and everyone wants to get out there and compete. You got to listen to the coach. Yeah, you got your stars out there, but there's a lot of controversy apparently. And unfortunately, wherever Jimmy Butler goes, the boy can ball. All right, look, you get him out there on the court and he's trouble. But you get him out there on the court and he's trouble. Right? Just in terms of being a teammate, maybe being a team leader, you would think at this point in his career that he would be considered more of a leader as opposed to even just an accessory player or someone that comes in and a support perspective. But what do you think about this whole dynamic of, Coach Spoelstra, again, already has the rings because he did it with LeBron and did it with Dwayne, but Jimmy Butler over here in Miami now, and they just can't seem to find some synergy amongst them in terms of how to elevate the Heat to playoff contention. I'm not even going to talk about championship winning, but just playoff contention. And you guys saw the whole video that I just played right now. Montel, let's start with you this time.
Yeah, I look into it and I don't look into it. Now, the part that I don't like is it kind of escalated more and more and got bigger. I don't have a problem with you disagreeing with the coach and talking, but obviously it's got a heated thing. But I look at Spoelstra. Spoelstra's not backing down from him. He's coming at him, saying whatever he's saying to him. So they're going back and forth. I think this is more of a competitive thing. I think Jimmy Butler does have a history, but I think he has a history of being a great competitor as well. I always think that there's a time that you need to listen and the time you need to speak. I think he teeters that line a lot. He teeters that line probably. He's probably the captain of the basketball team because he's one of the better players.
Right.
So he also that he gives him more, more authority to go ahead and teeter that line. I don't mind a competitive spirit, man. I really don't. I think that's actually healthy. It's healthy for you not to agree with someone all the time. You're supposed to argue and disagree about certain things.
Yep.
I think that moment just got caught on camera and they kind of got heated and it escalated. I don't think he was going to throw no blows or nothing like that, not among him. But I do believe arguing and disagreeing is a healthy behavior. because at that point you can come to a resolution and you can start to see things, the right way.
Yeah.
They didn't fight the next night. They didn't want to argue the next night. They came on the court.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's a little bit blown out of proportion. Talking about they're going to trade him and get rid of him. He's a problem and all this stuff. Let's not forget, man, he's been winning the Heat 45 to 50 games every year he's been there.
Yeah.
He's been in the playoffs every year he's been there. He's not been a guy that's been out there on the street where he's with all kind of women, or he's doing all these certain kind of things, even though he has that little thing with that one commentator from ESPN. But I mean, he's not a guy that you see on the outside having all these other distractions come into play.
Okay.
His distractions are on the court.
Yeah.
His distractions on the court. His problem is like, hey, I got a problem with coach, or coach is having an argument, or me and the players are not disagreeing. He doesn't have off the field issues. Matter of fact, he's very successful off the field with his coffee shops and all the things he's doing. He's actually very valuable in the community in Miami. So all that, man, I mean, it's just all heated altercation.
Yeah.
This one on social media, we capture everything that goes on and tell everybody's business.
We know about it immediately when it happens. Yeah. So Eric, let me flip it. Let me flip this, Eric, and ask you just again, what are your thoughts on someone who probably is the captain, like Montel was saying, or if he was a role player, the relationship between him, Jimmy Butler, and Coach Spoelstra. I mean, do we want to see this? And again, I'm gonna be devil's advocate here and asking this question: do we, as the fans, want to see this type of altercation happening? Is it healthy for the fans to see Butler and Spoelstra going at it like this? I'm being devil's advocate right now.
Yeah. I don't think that it's it's healthy to have the disagreements and have your own and speak your mind. But again, there's a time and place. It's the same thing with the Will Smith thing. You want to pick and choose your moments, right? If I had a situation I didn't agree with the coach, he's coaching the team. I'm being paid to be professional. I need to go out there and do my job, and then come back and say, hey, you know what? I didn't agree with that situation or that call you made. And again, I don't know what they were arguing about, so it's hard to understand what they're arguing about. But like I said, there's a time and a place, and they're being paid a lot of money to be professional. I want to see professionalism. Again, I come from a military background, so there just has to be some type of discipline and some type of hierarchy. He's the coach. I need to listen to the coach at that point in time. Now, if I disagree with the coach, then I'll come back and say, hey, same thing, Will Smith. I'm not gonna. If I disagree with what Chris Rock said, I need to take it off camera, off our playing field, and say, hey, maybe we could have done this a different way.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I see it.
We'll see. I mean, I hear you saying, and I agree with you as well. Coach Spoelstra and Jimmy have talked, apparently, according to this article, repeatedly since that incident, and handling it like Will and Chris should have, Will should have handled his situation with Chris. I'm just saying, right? Behind closed doors, raising the tone if they need to, yelling, throwing something at each other, whatever. But, they handling it like they need to handle it, and then going back out and being professional out there on the playing field, going for the W. So different types of situations to start and end the show. But again, just wanted to put that out there because tying it back in. Right on. These people, my mom said, these people smoking too much. It's out there. That's hilarious. I love you so much. Let's end with a good note. Let's end with a good story. We got, and here is the tie-in of the gambling situation that I was talking about, the sports betting situation that, Montel was giving me a hard time about. Drake out here spinning the wheel, out there playing roulette, came up big, got him some more money to add to his bottom line. But instead of putting it in his checking account, instead of buying another Maybach or another Lamborghini or a Tesla or whatever, he's giving some of that money out. So, he's based in Toronto. He's from Canada. He actually set up an event with the sports betting team or company that he's working with called Stake, and gave $100,000 to a Toronto-based student athlete to allow him to continue to pursue his dreams, to help his family and things like that. You know what? As I'm saying that out loud, I wonder if are there issues with that?
I think it's under the NIL rule. I think they're doing it kind of under NIL. I'm thinking, okay, here's $100,000. Here you go. I think they're kind of doing some other things with that. So
okay, see, now that I say it out loud, I'm like, wait a minute, you can't just be giving a student athlete $100,000 when your boy Reggie Bush and everyone else was
That's
out
a whole
there.
other show, man. That's a whole other show.
Oh, you can't take me anywhere. Needless to say, giving the young man $100,000, continue his education, help out his family, do some things right there, but also through the stake organization, Drake is giving $1 million to LeBron James's I Promise School as a donation. And part of that donation, Drake is going to deliver it to the school personally and possibly do a mini concert for the kids. Do it for the kids. Love this. Right. The man hit it big on the tables, and he said, you know what, I'm not going to try to keep all this money. I don't need this money. I make this money in 20 minutes of the day when I'm on stage. So let me put it in somebody's hands who's actually going to properly benefit from this. EB, talk to us what you think about just the story of what Drake is doing for the young athlete and for the I Promise School.
Again, people that are in these positions of authority, and they're setting examples for, you know, the younger generation. I'm all for it. I think that's commendable. I'm all about that. I like seeing stuff like that. I like seeing the positive and giving back to the community. I love that a lot.
Mm-hmm. The fact that he doesn't have to do it, I think, is also good, right? And I've heard stories where Drake will do more, and a lot of these athletes and entertainers will do these types of things, right? They'll give back to their communities just to give back. And it doesn't have to be a whole press release. Doesn't have to be a whole Instagram story. Doesn't have to be a whole TikTok reel or something. We don't have to worry about promoting the brand every time we do. I'm concerned about LeBron because every time he wakes up, he's got to do that. He's got to have a film. Here I go again, squirrel. But I'm going down a whole different tangent. Let me keep the positive in this conversation. Martel, your thoughts on this whole situation, man? Because
I love it, man. I love it. I love the fact that he's giving back. I love the fact that he's giving back to education. My only thing is, you said he doesn't have to. I believe you do have to. You need to give back. I think more people in those situations need to give back and need to pull people in their communities up and in these schools. My only thing is I wish it was at a different school, like more of a school that maybe needs it. I don't think LeBron schools need $1 billion because LeBron is funding those schools pretty well. I would wish he would give it back to somewhere, you know, so even whether it would be, you know, an urban neighborhood in Toronto from an urban neighborhood in Detroit or wherever he felt that he needed.
Even like a church, right? The comment just came in, you know, give it to some churches or something. But okay,
yeah. I wish it was kind of more spread out. I get it. There's nothing wrong with him doing it. I mean, that's great. I just wish it was kind of more, you know, gave to a little bit some more needy people, maybe in Chicago or somewhere. I think kids in other neighborhoods. I know you can't save everybody, but I do believe with the power and the influence of someone like Drake and LeBron has, they can make sure that money can reach more and more kids. I mean, you know, even the Oakland, LA kids, and so on and so on. These guys can really make a really impact, and I think this is kind of one of their first steps. I believe, and I know it's a lot better than what Kanye was doing with that Larry Hoover.
See, you still mad at Kanye? You still mad at Kanye?
I'm still mad at that, man. That wasn't even cool. But I mean, you know, for him to turn around and say, you know, yeah, I hit it big on the roulette table, and I'm gonna get these winnings, give these winnings to these kids that rightfully deserve it. I'm all for it, man. I hope he hits 1 million more times so he can give back to 1 million more communities to get them more money, just so we can help out, man. I think we've been losing focus on helping people out, especially helping people that are less fortunate. I know everybody's worried about stuff because of COVID and everybody's personal situation is different, but I think, you know, we really as a society has lost that kind of let's help the next man that needs it, or let's help the next person that needs it. We don't give back. We're so worried about ourselves. So it's good to hear stories like this that people that have a lot that are really giving it back, man. It's giving it back to some people that it's really gonna help. It's gonna be very influential. So kudos to Drake, man. Kudos to LeBron for opening the schools. Yeah. All I can say is keep doing it. I don't like his music really much, and I don't like him playing basketball. But hey, keep doing this on the other tip. I'm all good, man. I'm all good for it. So
yeah,
and I hope it's an example for other players. I hope it's an example for the people, you know, the Foxes in Sacramento. I hope it's an example for the Currys in the Bay Area. I hope it's an example for, you know, John Moran in Memphis. I hope these guys look at these kind of examples and kind of partner with the local rappers and do some things like this, man. I think it would be a great thing.
I love that. I love that. I'm not even gonna mess with that because that you actually hit it right on the head right there. We'll end with this. EB, we brought you on, and we appreciate you for coming on. But talk to us one more time as we close out about you've got a session coming up about the whole Rock and Smith thing. So talk a little bit about what your plans are as that relates to that.
Yeah, so this Friday we're going to do a show again based off of the Will Smith incident. Talking about how the effects of alopecia or certain things like that affect people and how they make people do different things. We're going to have a doctor and an author on the show to try to kind of clarify some of the myths or issues with having alopecia. But yeah, it should be a pretty good.
You want mute again, man? Dang, right? Let's do this spirit. You want mute?
I definitely need to, man, ever since my house caught on fire. But anyway, hope to see you there. It's going to be a great show. I think we're going to get a lot of good information, some good feedback. Hopefully we can get some good feedback from the audience and hope to see you there.
You want mute again when you said your time and date. Say it again one more time.
Yeah. So it's this Friday, 2:00 East Pacific time, 5:00 Eastern.
Perfect.
Hopefully I'm not muted.
No, you good. You good. James is muted now.
No, I'm just over here moving my lips and I'm not actually saying that. I'm over here heckling. Listen, folks, this is what we do, right? Yeah, hey, this is what Montel and I do, folks. Come on, join us here, Team No Sleep, every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And look, we go into it. Y'all saw we talked about Will, we talked about Chris, we talked about Shaq, we talked about health, all of those things that are above the line and above the noise. So if we are doing something that resonates with you and you like the conversation, share it. Tell us your thoughts and your feelings. If we're doing something that you don't like, let us know as well, because we will take that constructive criticism and that feedback and put that into the plans moving forward. So that being said, listen, gentlemen, as always, I let Montel take us out, and then I just push the buttons behind the scenes. But thank y'all for being part of the show. Montel, take us home, brother.
Yeah, keep 10 toes down, say your prayers, man, and everything will be all right. Another day. Let's go.